Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Ascension Tips. I've been a while. It's been a while since I made one of these videos. I've been going through so much in life, in all the ways that are quite unique to my life and very multidimensional. And I've been struggling, ups and downs, but yeah, struggling in certain areas and having many experiences of the multi-dimensional, higher dimensional nature, and many moments of darkness and purging and healing and consciousness expansion. And I had been really struggling to find the courage to and the self-worth and to shed the doubt to pick up the camera, the phone again, and to record. So here I am. It feels really good to be doing this, and I am looking forward to it becoming more regular. So I wish to just kind of speak freely with no real plan today. I am wanting to share more of my experiences because my personal experiences of that esoteric, more out there, energetic, higher vibrational, multidimensional nature have continued to increase and are forever becoming more profound and more physical. So there's so much about my life that I am excited and nervous to share with you all. And I know that so many out there are having their own experiences in their own awakening journey in this very important pivotal time here on Mother Earth. And there's a lot going on in many ways, and obviously looking at the global scale, there's so much going on in so many ways that can seem quite dark and at the same time very positive. So I would like to reiterate once more, unless you've never seen any of my any previous videos, I've been connecting quite strongly with a race of beings called the Arcturians. The particular collective of beings that I've been connecting with very strongly are a ninth dimensional Arcturian council, which means they're non-physical. And so they are essentially everywhere at any time. They're a part of non-physicality in this universe of ours. It's another dimensional state. The seventh dimension being the last of the physical dimensions. The eighth being a transitory dimension, which is like the fourth, which many of us are transiting through now, while many in the planet are still in the third dimension, and many of us are transiting through the fourth, which you don't reside in for very long. It's like a time space transitory dimension, heading into the fifth dimension, which is what's happening on this at this time on the planet. We are heading into the fifth dimension, and that means a lot. It's got a lot. There's a lot to unpack there, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. Now, these particular beings, the Arcturians, are they come from the star Arcturus, which is in the Boots constellation here in our galaxy, the Milky Way. Now, they are one of many races of highly evolved beings, a civilization of beings that are very ancient and have made it in their evolutionary process through their spirituality, through their love, through their light, through their unity consciousness, their oneness embodiment, through caring, through teaching, through healing, through their technology, which is very aligned with their spiritual nature, in that oneness aspect that we are all connected, in that the micro and the macro, the microcosm and the macrocosm are one and the same thing. and essentially that we are a a divine, we are divine source energy beings. We come from the same source of energy that creates everything. Some people have many names for it: the universe, source, God, the quantum, the infinite quantum potential, infinite divine consciousness, whatever it is for you. So these particular beings very much are an extremely loving, caring, super, super advanced race, both in technology and their own divinity and energies and consciousness. And they have an affinity for being in assistance to any being wishing to evolve their consciousness, and wishing to journey further into the understanding and the learning and the knowing of their divine nature, which is all of us. There's nothing excluded from this category, and it is the soul's choice. So they come here at this time, helping us to evolve, expand our consciousness, to heal, and to move further forward in our journey, which is exactly what's happening on the planet, even though it doesn't look like it. It looks pretty hectic out there when you look at things on the global scale. So I wish to just share briefly. I'm not going to talk too much, because I know, we're all limited with our time. I wish to share some of my personal experiences that have been occurring in this past, really intensely, non-stop in this past 3 years. I would say that I've been on an awakening journey officially since 2012, when I got run over and nearly lost my right leg. So that was my first dark night of the soul. And I'd been on an awakening journey, a personal awakening spiritual journey since then. Then I went on a second spiritual journey 3 years ago, and things really blew open, like in a really, 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 really big way. All the energies that all the experience that I'd been having for years had been building up and building up, and then boom, shit just blew open, and I started becoming extremely multidimensional. I sort of came online very strongly, and I started having numerous experiences which never ceased. They never stopped. They just kept expanding, becoming more stronger, more profound, more prominent, and I would tune into them more and learn more about it and understand it more. And a lot of the experiences became more physical. So I started becoming visual, multidimensionally, not with my mind's eye, with my actual eyes, my physical eyes. I started seeing light beings, particularly at nighttime, walking around my bed. I started seeing fairies. I thought I was going crazy for months and months, seeing glimpses of my peripherals, and that would eventuate to start seeing more and more definition, and then eventually would see actual fairies completely. My two of my fairy guides, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. And yeah, I even saw those two fairies when I was traveling in Italy, for example. So what else? I started channeling the energy waves, the ascension energy waves coming into the planet. So my main thing these days has been perceiving, feeling and hearing and perceiving the frequency, the vibrational frequency of the energy waves coming into the planet. And then as I would tune into that and get to know it more, and then I could refine it and understand that I was also perceiving the vibrational frequency of any higher dimensional being that was wanting to connect with me, that was in my space or creating a connection, including when I want to create the connection. I started, I was seeing all sorts of beings. I was perceiving beings left, right, and center. I started seeing beings moving around in my environment. Sometimes red, sometimes like dark shadows. Arcturian light, a particular group of Arcturians, like an orb of white light, like right in front of me, like a meter away. I started becoming clairaudient, so actually hearing different sounds completely clearly the way that you are hearing me now. And we're not talking about like voices in the head, you're going crazy. You're actually hearing clairaudient, all sorts of experiences. I've been attacked by dark forces from time to time. They're very unique experiences and quite scary sometimes when they happen. But what I learned over the years was that they just strengthened me, and they taught me how much there is nothing to fear other than fear itself. I have had numerous profound spiritual surgeries where these beings, particularly the Arcturians, would come close to me and perform what I call spiritual surgeries. So very energetic, physical, and quantum surgeries of upgrading certain areas of my body, which is not so easy to speak about, but that's been one of the biggest parts of my experiences because it's so physical every single time. When I was on the Bibbulmun trek, hiking for the first time with a friend last winter. Three of us, had this incredible experience. The whole day was incredible. The area where we were was incredibly lit with energies. It was unbelievable. And at the nighttime, we saw this UFO, the spaceship, come down and go. Even with how far I'd come with my experiences, I never expected to see something like that. And I knew exactly who it was. It was fourth dimensional Arcturian beings, of whom I'm very connected with and am destined to meet in physicality. So in my last home, there was like an Arcturian portal opened up. I was able to start perceiving the numerous beings that were being brought into my environment to attune me to their energies, to their vibrational energies. And the Arcturians would always be there. I've had so many experiences. I've been touched numerous times with beings that are so close in physicality that they're right there next to me and have touched me. I've had so many experiences. I'm just rattling some off that just come to the top of my mind. My experiences have become so multidimensional. I have become so multidimensional, particularly in this past 3 years. My world has completely changed, and I want to not only start sharing these experiences, but also helping ground them in and how they can relate to your own life and where the planet is heading. Because the Arcturians are very famous for their teachings. They're master healers and teachers, and they're here to help any being that wants to expand their consciousness and to come into love and light and move out of that third dimensional set of experiences of like separation and duality, thinking that we're separate from nature or from source energy, or that we're separate from each other. So I've been learning a lot from them, both through a verbal channel that I subscribe to daily, and also their energetic transmissions, where they send me energy directly, constantly, nearly, and in whatever quantum way that assimilates and integrates within my being, and it expands my consciousness. There's many ways that we can absorb knowledge, information, energy, and it's not always easy to explain. So my experiences are very multidimensional. I have become very multidimensional, and the range of experiences that I've had, particularly this past 3 years, is so fucking profound and out there, and I am steadily maturing into them and readying myself, like I am now, more and more to be seen, to be heard, to share, and to be in any level of service that I can be here at this time for everyone, for the highest and best of all, the intentions, which is a very important thing to learn. So at this time on our planet's history, in our evolutionary history as a species, as a species of human species on this planet, this incredible planet, and her soul name is Gaia. Many of you would know that. Through the greater nature of reality, of the universe, of the multiverse, because that is the nature of reality, it's multidimensional, okay? We as humans only see, hear, feel, perceive a very minute percentage of the complete spectrum of all that exists. It's like, 0.5 of the totality that exists. And I personally have been tapping into more of that. And it's a lot of fun once you stop being freaked out by it. And the Arcturians teach us that the nature of the universe, of this universe, by the way, there's other universes, but we don't need to dive into that. Let's just little bit by little bit, is that the nature of this universe, this multiverse, is holographic in nature. So it's and the macrocosm, so us looking out into this infinite universe and just going, wow, it's so big, everything's so big. Well, that then makes us so small, that the microcosm, we are a little speck floating in this infinite sea of a lot. And not trying to lose ourselves there, but it's a good concept to begin to feel into and to have some sort of understanding of for that holographic sense, because the Arcturians are here to help us teach us that divine source energy, whatever way you want to understand it or feel it or align with, that creates everything. It's like our sun, the energy from our sun, and our sun is a portal, by the way, to the Galactic Central Suns, and the Galactic Central Suns are portals to the Great Central Sun, which is like a physical representation of source energy, or God, if you want to. I don't really use the word God. It's got too many feelings behind it, too many religious connotations. But nonetheless, we are a part of everything. We're not separate from it. And what that means for us is our sun, for example, we wouldn't have any life here on this planet in the solar system if it wasn't for our sun's energy. Okay? So imagine the physical representation of source energy is a great central sun at the center of our universe, permeating everything with life and light. Now imagine that is also divine consciousness. And now imagine that is also the universe. And now imagine that is holographic in nature. And now imagine that is infinite potential. Now imagine you are an aspect of divine source energy, love and light. And you matter. Your consciousness matters. Your internal reality and your consciousness, your vibrational frequency emanates and co-creates with that divine infinite potential, that divine consciousness, that light, that sound, the totality of everything. And you create your reality. Now that's a hard one to grasp at first, until you start having your own, until it expands more within you, grows within you. It'll take a while, but it's good to say some of the bigger things out loud to give them time to sprout within, and to give them time to grow. Excuse me. So there's a lot going on the planet at this time, and I just wanted to give a little bit of an overview on how my own personal experiences, which since I started to reach out to others, I have been learning how many other people out there are having their own experiences of a very unique variety, and that you are not alone. And if you're something that feels like you're not having any experiences, but you're something brewing within you that you can't quite put your finger on, then welcome to spiritual awakening. It can be very confusing, it can be very complex, and it can all just seem like you're going crazy at times, or that it's all just too much to handle and just can seem like a load of shit, until more expands, including you in your consciousness. So to some degree, you are totally and utterly creating your reality. Now that has been hidden from us, and that's been hidden from us on purpose, which we're going to go into the nature of our history, our hidden history here on planet Earth, our galactic history, the forces, darker, nefarious, more negatively orientated forces that are a big part of our galactic history, and how they have very much orchestrated and manipulated everything on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years, over 350,000 years, where apparently humanity has risen and fallen at least 4 to 6 great times. And you really need to wrap your head around the fact that you are part of an infinite universe. You're not separate from it. That the universe itself is extremely old. That the planet itself is extremely old. That even our planet in this, one of the newer galaxies, on one of the younger planets, is extremely old beyond comprehension. And there's many histories that have been lost. And what's important is that in this time on the planet, we're now starting to relearn those histories, remember who you are as a soul, where you've been before, what you've done before, and start to shift into a higher frequency vibrational state, which then everything is changing. Everything is changing. These energies that we're heading into will be a whole different dynamic creational set of energies, where so much will change, and we will become more empowered in that understanding that we actually are creating our reality, and that you are co-creating with the rest of the universe, and that you're very important. That's why there is a lot of darkness on this planet, because our consciousness was hijacked and manipulated and orchestrated to be able to dictate and control our collective timeline here on the planet and all the experiences, because this planet comes with certain universal laws that you don't see everywhere else. It's a very unique planet, it's a very unique solar system, and it's a very unique experience, the Earth school experience. And there's a lot to talk about, and I'm gonna have to get more structured, and I will. I've got a whiteboard in front of me with some notes, and I didn't even tap on any of them. So we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna make more, I promise. I'm pulling my finger out. There's been a lot happening in my life, and I suppose let's leave it with something positive. If you are at this time awakening, or if you're someone that's already been on their journey for a while now, and you're just interested to see what other people are putting out there, know this: no matter what you're going through, and no matter how bad it seems to be getting out there, or what you're feeling or purging or going through personally, because of that holographic reflective nature, that greater nature of the universe, of this particular universe, it's your inner state, your vibrational emanation, your intention, your consciousness is creating your reality. And the only thing that you have control over, when you're looking at and you're freaking out at what the rest of the world's doing, when they're trying to bring in forced vaccinations, and all the corruption that's starting to become so evident and so clear, and whatever else that is perturbing you in your life and your reality, the best thing you can do is to heal your inner self. It's to do the inner work. Tap into how you're feeling, what you're feeling, get really real with yourself, really authentic, tune in, slow down, become present, become grounded, tune into all the bits and bobs that make up your totality, and do whatever it takes to heal and bring them more into alignment, so you can become more centered, more whole, more in the heart space, less in the mind, more in the heart. And your reality, and I promise you this, it's not just gonna like all of a sudden whoosh, the whole planet's saved because you're doing your work, but there's so much to learn and to be experienced in the realmic reality that is, and how your reality will flow forth more harmonious and joyful and everything you want to experience when you bring yourself, your own inner state, into that more harmonious, joyful state. It will start to reflect out, because we are a unified species. Because of that macrocosm, microcosm reality, we are a tiny little speck of a speck of a speck of God knows what else. So we are like one. Quantumly, we are one species with a unified collective mind that creates this reality. And there's many realities playing out all at once, whilst all being within a certain range and spectrum of our collective reality. So if you want to change your reality, change what's going on within yourself. That's the best place to start, I promise you. I look forward to talking to you all again more, and I love you all, and love and light to all. All right, good luck. Mwah.